So let's talk a little bit about your journey, how you kind of came into this space. I have my Heal Thyself book here and my Sacred Woman book here.
Yay.
You are an expert on all things holistic wellness and healing. Can you talk to me a little bit about how you started your own journey?
Well, my journey is what keeps me inspired to help others. When I was 16 years of age, I had chronic asthma and eczema from head to toe. I had arthritis. I had bedridden PMS.
Wow.
I had headaches. I was, as Fannie Henry said, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to change it. And the doctor told my mother, your daughter should live in a glass house. She's allergic to everything.
Wow.
That's all he had for me. And I had my biweekly injections to just manage. So I know by the time I'd have reached in my 20s, I'd have been walking with a respirator. You know, that's how far gone my lungs were.
Wow.
And there was no way to get out of it unless I shifted a whole nother new life.
Yeah.
Well, I was invited to a healing retreat. That changed my entire everything.
Where was it?
It was upstate New York.
Okay.
Right? It was the first time I've ever been on a retreat. I was a meat eater, a junk food eater, everything that's toxic, I was eating it, right? Out of ignorance. And so when I got on this retreat, the bus opened, got the yellow bus. The grass, the trees, they should be our friends, but they were my enemies because I was toxic. So then the asthma kicked in as I was getting off the bus, and I started the eczema. I started scratching and wheezing. And I left my medication home. And I went into the cafeteria to put down my bags, and I asked the first spiritual question ever. What am I going to do? I'm out here with strangers, and I was in a panic, but I got my first message from my inner voice. Eat grapefruits, lemons, and oranges. Okay, that seems like a formula. Later on, I found out. And I had some rose hips tea, and that day, that's all I had, and I had water. In the midst of the asthma and me quietly in this state, I heard this loud voice, this wonderful man who was talking about herbs and the healing of the nation, a master herbalist at that time for about 50 years. And he talked about healing testimonies and miracles that happened for people who did the herbs and took a natural lifestyle. Well, I sat down that night, still wheezing and scratching. I didn't hear anyone, I didn't remember anyone giving me a presentation or anything. I was caught up. But that night, there was a fireplace. The fire's going, it's coming to my lungs not knowing. I fell asleep sitting up because as an asthmatic, you lay down, your lungs would collapse. Everybody else was in their bed. I was in front of the fireplace on the sofa, like now. That next morning, I had my first detox. I didn't know what was a detox. I went to the bathroom, and for about an hour, mucus drained out of my nose.
Wow.
Some came out of my eyes, some came from my chest or my throat, out of my mouth. And then all of a sudden, the asthma stopped. And the red that was in my white of my eyes, it stopped. It just went. And then the itching stopped. It's like there was a tornado that hit me, and then it just was a calm day. After that happened, I said, wait a minute, what's going on? There must be some relationship to what I'm eating, and if I'm going to get well or I'm going to be sick. And I realized that I had the power at that moment to change my life. The asthma never came back. I'm in my 60s, the asthma never came back. But I picked up a book, Dick Gregory, Cooking with Mother Nature. He became my mentor through his book.
Wow.
And I took on his family, his 9 children. They didn't know me, but I knew them. And then I went home, remembering the next day, the next 2 days, now all of a sudden, people were talking about herbology, they did herb walk, using food as medicine, meditation and yoga, all the things that I live now and teach others. It was all new to me. But when I went home, I went cold turkey. I didn't go through transition. I didn't go from one level of diet. I just went all, at that time it was called vegetarian, not vegan. And so that was the shift. And then shortly after I got home, I went on a 21-day detox.
Yeah.
And I've been talking about 21-day detox for the last 50 years. And I then became certified and opened up a center, and life continued. And the asthma left, the allergies left, the eczema left. The PMS was a shock. That took 2 months, no more pain, and I was a new person. I saw my mind shifted too, my thinking. I was very introverted. I didn't talk a lot, but I was an artist. I was a dancer. I was a dancer. I was a singer, and that's what I wanted to do. But this healing caught me, and I got caught up in the rapture.
Yeah.
And that's what I do now.
You said that you talked about the 21 detox for 50-something years. How often do you do this detox?
Well, for myself personally, every season will change. I do. And that's for maintenance. Like once you get on the healing, some people say, well, I'm good now. I don't do anything else. And they go back, the habits kick back in. You have to make it as a lifestyle. And the more that you commit, the higher your I call it the frequency, energy. The higher your frequency goes, and the more impact you'll have on any and everything that you want to do in your life. You can call it, and it begins to come to you. Things will have to melt away too. There's some things that we carry as habits. They start melting away. We're used to it. Wait, don't go, even if it's painful. And so everything begins to shift the more that you go into your healing.
Yeah.